Hello, World of Tank Blitzers. It's a Littlefinger. Going to be doing a full tank review here on the Emile 1951, as shown in the garage with the premium camo. Yeah, strange, huh, guys? Back-to-back full tank reviews, 2 days in a row. T20 yesterday, Emile today. The reason for that is finally we got some tanks in the store that were new that you could purchase for gold. T2020 as we did yesterday, 7,000 gold. It's the cheapest of the bunch. Object 252U's been around for a while, 8,500 gold. The better of these two tanks. The Emile 1951 is selling for 12,500 without any equipment or the camo, or 15,000 with the camo and all 9 equipment slots. So very expensive. The reason for that being the first time it has been for sale in the store for gold and not in crates. And that's typical, guys. So my recommendation right off the bat is just wait. It'll be back. It'll be cheaper. And you'll get a better feeling of why as we go through this review. And the reason I wanted this tank so bad is because of its, I guess, brother, cousin, whatever you want to call it, the tech tree variant here, the Emile 1. The Emile 1 has much better armor, but it is much, much slower. So those are your two trade-offs, and we'll go through the differences here as part of this review. So let's go into consumables. I'm running the repair kit, the multi-purpose, and the engine power boost. Provisions, running grilled salmon, improved fuel, and crisp bread. Ammo 51, 21, and 18. We've got APCR as your premium ammo, which is nice. Making sure we're buying that with silver and not gold. And then finally, the equipment. All right, so this tank has good penetration numbers. Um, I really haven't tried it too much with calibrated shells yet. The downside I find is, there's some times where you probably would want to use HE and it just won't pen. Um, Maybe getting this up to 58 makes a difference, and I think probably some time running it with calibrated shells might be good. But we get the improved vents instead of the gun rammer because we have the auto loader, and that's what I've been running for these videos. The defense system, improved optics, enhanced gun lane drive, enhanced armor. This is not working for me, guys. There is no armor on this tank, so you'll definitely want to switch that over to improved assembly and get those additional 100 hit points. Again, the videos that you see are with enhanced armor. I think improved assembly is going to be better on this tank. Tank's got good mobility, so we'll go with engine accelerator. Um, you know, I'm kind of at a torn between these two here. Been running it with the refined gun. I might try it with the vertical stabilizer for a while to see if that. I don't notice too much as a way of the gun barrel bouncing when you're moving. And I really haven't taken too many shots kind of like on the full move. But the thing with this tank is it does have good dispersion on the move, which is why I started out with the refined gun, toolbox, and consumable delivery system. All right, so here's blitzstars.com, and I just want to point out a few of the variations between these two tanks and compare them to some of the other heavies. You'll see right here at 2,000 DPM, right in line with everything else. So as sometimes with these auto loaders, you can have a really low DPM. Not so much the case here with the Emile, which is why I think everyone loves the Emile 1 so much. 230 in pen. It's towards the top here, so that's what I'm saying. It's got good pen, 310 alpha, right in line with the rest of these tanks. Your full reload time, 21 seconds. You've got 3 shots with 3 seconds in between shots, so in 6 seconds you can do 930 damage. Same as the Emile 1 here with your shell velocity. As we move on down, you'll see here 2.26 aim time, 0.34. Some good numbers for a heavy tank. 0.18 your dispersion on the move. versus 0.22 on the Emile, 10 degrees of gun depression. So here we go. This is where we really start seeing some of the differences. 40 kilometers per hour versus 35. You know, this puts us in line with some of the faster heavy tanks. However, you do get 14.78 power to weight ratio, which is better than the Emile, which means you're going to accelerate faster and you're going to get to that top speed faster. You've also got 28 degrees of traverse speed versus 19 on the Emile. So the Emile feels very sluggish compared to this tank. Now, what do you give up to get that? Well, yeah, you guessed it. You're giving up armor. Primarily here on the sides. Look at this, 70 versus 35 and 20. This is an HE magnet, guys. If you're not shooting HE at the side of these turret, you're doing it wrong. Also, with the hull armor, doesn't matter as much because you do have a lot of spaced armor there, just a small strip on the top. We'll get to that in the armor inspector here in just a second. But yeah, these numbers here are just bad when you compare them to like a Shark or the 112 Glacial, and you have to keep that in mind when you're playing this tank. You know, I did want to point out, you know, it shows that the average win rate is 60% over the last 90 days, and I believe this is for people that play the tank more than 60 or 90 times in that 90-day period, and you've only got 706 users versus 11,000 here. So seeing a tank like the Emile with a 55% win rate as a tech tree tank, you know it's a strong tank. So while it's not a bad tank, it's not an Emile. I will say that. So I think understanding the armor on this tank is key to playing it well. So we'll just run through this real quick. You know, if you've got your gun aimed down, you're showing this upper part of the tank, which is very easily pennable, which is why you'll see a lot of people when they're reloading will lift their gun up, and you can see the difference that makes as far as hiding it or not, right? And then as we slide on over to the side, just look how yellow this is. This is really, really weak armor here. You do have the spaced armor here in the purple, but you've got a small strip along the top of the hull and all of this side and back of the turret. So let's take a look at what that looks like. You know, from the perspective here right now of a T-44 shooting AP. We'll put calibrated shells on, starts to make a little bit of difference. APCR, and there you have it. A T-44 medium tank, you know, can pen this tank if you are flat surface. So getting on a ridge line and using some of that 10 degrees of gun depression is really going to help out with your armor, but the second you start turning that turret, you've just exposed a big part of your tank. So let's then take a look at what this would be with, let's say, a heavy tank. Let's turn that off and just go back. So yeah, like I was saying, the armor on this is not great. Again, if you can get to that position where you're making your armor more effective by angling it backwards, that's the best that you can do. But on flat surface, one-on-one, you're going to get penned 100% of the time in all of these locations, whereas the Emile tends to block a lot of shots with the turret. And then, of course, if we go to a TD, yeah, you're hardly being able to hide this, even if you get onto a hill. You're just going to get penetrated. So keep that in mind as you run the tank. The armor is not the same as the Emile one. Alright guys, so here is first battle I wanted to show on Yamato armor. And we are top tier encounter battle. And Defender Mark 1 is going to call left, which, you know, certainly what I showed you in the armor inspector there. If you can get this thing, you know, on a hill, looking down, you're increasing that effective armor and making this a solid all-around tank at that point. Because of the speed here, you see we're quickly up to 40 kilometers per hour, and we have good traverse speed. I would suggest running this tank with the mediums more often than with heavies, depending upon, the tank lineup and the map you get. Um, but it's a really good support medium, I would say. I'm just very hesitant about putting this thing on the front line because of its lack of armor. And it does have good accuracy and pen, so you'll find that sniping is also very effective with the tank. Trying to aim pretty low on the defender here, and you can see he gets that first one through our turret, no problem. And this is why I wanted to play this game. Is you'll see that I get penned from seriously every single direction. And you can see what's setting up here on the map. We've got nobody in the TD spot. We've got 4 tanks spotted, and they had a couple go through the heavy. So really, we should have pushed, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And I'm willing to take a shot here to get the defender out. And of course, we can't even friggin' pen the defender. Luckily, we bounced both of those shots. And this is one of those things with true autoloaders, is you have to make that painfully hard decision when to suffer through this long reload, even if you've got a shell or two ready to go. I just don't have targets. I feel like if I turn and go back, I'm liable to get shot from this side. So we'll push on into the FCM. And this is what I'm talking about here as far as making a decision. I would have thought that I could have penned him HE in the rear, but not to be. And we took a couple shots there to get 3 shots to go in and a low roll on an HE. So while we push the FCM out of that position, we took a lot of damage for it. And we'll start to see here on the tank, it's looking Swiss cheesy. But there it is, 3 nice shots in a row. We can see we're up to 1800 damage. It's just this map did not go our way. And that damn FCM annoying the bejesus out of me. That was the VK over there, so I'm like, what the heck? Look at all these holes in this tank. So, not great on the armor. So we'll sit here a minute, let the camo reset. We're down a tank at this point in time. And as I suspected, I would get spotted crossing over through that opening. Cheeto here, he is aggressively pushing these 2 tanks. I know they're going to be coming back towards me. And quite honestly, I really thought that SU-122 would stay camping there, since he stayed camping the whole game. But he really surprises me here. And yeah, not being able to see him, I shoot through the building and bounce. And, we can just... So I can't get this to turn. But, yeah, we end up losing this game. But, you can see there just the difficulty with the lack of armor being on the front line. So 1987 in damage, 37,000 credits. It's one of those close games, and I can't complain about that. Anytime we get a one-on-one situation at the end, I'm happy. All right, next battle here is on Faust. Top tier again. Another regular encounter battle. And it was one of these maps that this tank could go either direction, but I'm looking at us and seeing that we're probably stronger a little bit to the right. And so I just don't think TDs do well going through the ramps on the left there. The E25 is already rushing over there. I thought the T44 would, go all the way up to the corner, but he's been aggressive and he's getting some spots in there, which potentially could give us the opportunity to get some shots across the map as these guys try to cut across the opening here. So shell velocity isn't super great. We saw on the T44 that we had 1400. You've got 1000 here. It does really make a difference. But again, with this tank and the questionable armor for a heavy tank, I'd much rather sit back here and take pot shots across the map than rely on my armor. Alright, so we're going to hit the adrenaline here and see if we can't. Well, let's change our minds. Getting distracted here by the AMX. We'll get those 2 shots in there. Missed out on our power boost, but that's okay. We can sit here while we reload. We're nicely covered up. And is this AMX going to come back into view? Sure enough, we sneak one in there just in time. Alright, now we've got an Emile 1. Now look at the difference here. Look at that red. APCR, I can get through the side cheek. Again, we're going to lift our turret up as we back down the hill. With that Emile, the armor difference is really spectacular, I think. And probably the biggest disappointment I had with this tank, but again, we do have this mobility to get us across the map, and that's something the Emile 1 struggles with. E25 just slightly got in the way there. Again, raising up the turret as we back on down to safety. Just 2 tanks left. We've got enough hit points here to take on the M6 by himself. So we'll get reloaded. We'll see what we can do. Coming around the corner here. There goes the T-44. Got 3 shots all into that front wheel. And yeah, we're going to miss out here on the kill. We've got some faster tanks ahead of us, but as you can see there, the tank works well more from a midline, backline, sniping, conserve those hit points, and then come in at the end of the game and use your burst damage to finish off those low health tanks. So there we are, 36. We made 89,000 credits there. 13 shots. Alright guys, here we are, Falls Creek. Supremacy battle. Now again, looking at their lineup with a couple decent heavies here, I would expect them to be, above C. With this tank and its lack of armor, that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be up here and to the right, just because there's no place for me to use hard cover. So I made the decision here earlier in this game that we're just going to peek into the opening. If no one comes through, then maybe we can jump into C, but We've got the Centurion spotted up. Not sure why he stops to try to shoot us. Broken track. Second broken track. Unfortunately, no one can shoot him and help me out with some extra damage. As you can see, this position here gives me, you know, a couple places to go to get hard cover and back up while I am reloading. And I blow that shot. No point taking that shot. Let's just wait and see what happens. And as we're waiting, the Annihilator comes charging out. Not sure why. Again, aiming for the tracks. And here we go. This is why we're in this position, is because we can use this rock now while we reload. It is painful, this super long reload. But we know we can finish him off. And it should be 2 shots. I don't mind taking a shot or 2 from him. There we go, 370. 2 shots, he's down. And we get some really lucky bounces there from the Helsing. SU, we should be able to pen him with HE, so we're preloaded, ready to go. And just look at this. We don't even get full pen. 145, what's that? Just use regular AP. Got 1 shot left. This is a lopsided game the other way. But, you know, it happens in the game. Finish him off for kill number 3, 2600 damage. And that's what I love about the autoloaders, right? You might think, I didn't do much damage that game, but you can get 2-3 shots in every time. It racks up. And there we are, top of the pile again. 11 shots landed that time. Alright guys, so last battle that I'm gonna show here, bottom tier Yukon, and we are bottom tier encounter battle. So just to recap, the tank has much better mobility than the Emile 1, but the armor is lacking. Lacking to the point where I would hardly call this a heavy tank. I would tend to run this more frequently with the mediums than I would with heavies. And certainly not put this tank on the front line. Again, it's got pretty good accuracy for a heavy tank. I mean, it's nothing like an Object 252U and that Soviet dispersion. So keep that in mind in the sense that you can hold back a little bit and snipe at the beginning of the game, and then you can conserve those hit points and use your burst damage towards the end of the game to make your armor more effective. You know, get yourselves on a hill like this, and there we go, we get a bounce. And make sure you always have hard cover around you for this painfully long reload. Now what I'm noticing is that their heavies are pushing through the middle. I wanted to get away from that Maushin, and I'm really in a bad situation here. So the Maushin is stopped because obviously I've got a whole wall of green in front of me now. So we can push up on the Progetto. Low health tank next to me, so that Progetto's going to focus at getting him out. We'll switch over to HE, put that in the rear, and get a nice high roll and finish him off. However, now we've got a Lorraine 40T with his 4 shots, who's going to do some serious damage. Luckily, we avoid one. I figure maybe if he's backing up, he's... Nope. He still has that one in the chamber, so... Problem with this is that he's faster in reverse than I am driving forward up this hill, so he's going to get away from me while he's on this his really long reload. Keep in mind, he doesn't have much armor back here. Shot did not go quite where I wanted it to, but we should be able to be putting HE into him. Nicely in the back there, 400, but hey, he's going to get away. So decision, let's reload, and that way when he comes back, hopefully we can have, because he can do 1,000 damage to me very easily. I just need to be able to get a couple shots into him or make him miss. So we're using this hard cover here. And now he's showing me his side, so we can switch back over to HE and gets a nice high roll and finish him off in those 3 shots in that clip. So, like you know, so the tank can brawl because it's got decent 2,000 damage per minute. But again, the armor's not great. It's still a fun tank to play. I don't think it's worth 15,000 gold. I would wait for it to come back and you get it for 85 or thereabouts later. But that's my 2 cents on the tank, and you know, you can make your own decisions. And of course, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.